Welcome back to another edition of Ash's Fantasy Facts here on ArizonaSports.com. We head into week number 10 of the NFL season. And kind of weird, all 32 teams will be in action this week. Yeah, no bye weeks, but we're not clear on the byes just yet. 4 teams still have their bye to go next week. But everyone in action this week, and we can go ahead and choose the best players and try to get a win in fantasy football. By the way, don't forget a Thursday night game this week. Oakland takes on San Diego, so make sure you take that into consideration when setting your lineups. Let's go find some good starts in week number 10. Let's start at the quarterback position as we do each and every week, and there's a couple quarterbacks I really like in week 10. One is Tony Romo. Again, I'm going to go with the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, mainly because of the matchup. They're taking on Buffalo. Buffalo tends to get into some big, high-scoring affairs. Look for Romo and the Cowboys, who have got to make a push for the playoffs starting this week. Look for him to put up some sizable numbers as far as fantasy football is concerned. I also like Matt Ryan a lot this week, the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons. Let's call it like it is. New Orleans' pass defense isn't that great. This could be a high-scoring affair and a big game once again for Atlanta, so I like Matty Ice. Let's move on to the tread lightlies at the quarterback position. A couple tread lightlies this week. One is going to be Eli Manning. Huge win for the Giants last week. Big. Now they got to go cross-country to take on the 7-1. I know it's hard to say. 7-1 San Francisco 49ers, who've actually been very good defensively this year. I don't see Eli putting up solid numbers in week 10. And I'm also going to tread lightly just a little bit with Matt Schaub of the Houston Texans. They are on the road taking on Tampa Bay in a big game there. So I'm just going to tread lightly a little bit in that matchup. Let's move on to the running back position. A couple running backs I like in week number 10. One is going to be Reggie Bush. I don't think he's ever made this list, ever, in all the years I've done this. Reggie Bush is going to be a good start this week. Look, he's the man right now in Miami. Miami's feeling good. They got their first win of the year. And with Daniel Thomas banged up, I like Reggie Bush. So if you've been kind of on the fence about putting Bush into your lineup, this week is a good week to go ahead and throw him out there. And another matchup is actually in the same game, another running back, Roy Helu on the other side, the rookie running back for the Washington Redskins. Redskins have been through a bunch of running backs already this season, but Helu seems to be the man right now. So if you got him, go ahead and start him. Let's move to the tread lightlies at the running back position. A couple guys I'm just going to be careful with this week. One is Michael Bush in the game on Thursday night. He's the running back for the Raiders right now with McFadden still banged up. But this is about the time of the year when the San Diego Chargers figure it out and go on a run. And I think that could start this Thursday night. So I'm going to tread lightly with Michael Bush, and I'm also going to tread lightly with Minnesota Viking running back Adrian Peterson. Last time I tread lightly with him, though, he went for about 150 yards. So just keep that in mind. But Minnesota's going to fall behind on Monday night against Green Bay, and that will make the running game somewhat non-existent for the Vikings. So I really, truly don't think Adrian Peterson puts up huge numbers in Week 10. Let's move on to the wide receivers position. A couple wideouts I like this week, and one guy not on a lot of your rosters, but you have time to go pick him up on the waiver wire, and that is Laurent Robinson, the wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. Look, Miles Austin is out again, and every time he goes out, this Robinson guy, who no one really knows anything about, kind of steps up and puts up some big numbers. I think he will be a favorite target of Tony Romo, and again, the matchup against Buffalo this week really entices me. And another wide receiver I'm going to like this week is Roddy White. Now, Roddy White's one of the top receivers in the game, but not in 2011. He struggled. However, I think he really starts to get it going for the last 6 games or so of the season, and it starts this week against New Orleans. Let's move on to the tread lightlies at the wide receiver position. And again, that matchup with Atlanta and New Orleans, a huge one in the division. And I'm going to say tread lightly with Marcus Colston. Now, it's hard to stop the New Orleans Saints. I just have a feeling that Colston doesn't put up the huge numbers here in Week 10. And another wideout I'm going to tread lightly with is a rookie from the Cincinnati Bengals, A.J. Green. Huge matchup in the AFC between the Bengals and the Steelers. Just going to tread lightly with the rookie going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, let's move on now to the sleeper of the week. Now, the sleeper of the week is a guy that maybe most of you don't know about. In fact, this week's guy might be just that. But I think he'll put up some good fantasy numbers. And the sleeper of the week this week is running back Chris Ivory of the New Orleans Saints. Now, the Saints have had a bunch of running backs, but if you look at last week, Ivory got the bulk of the carries. He got more carries than Sproles and more carries than Pierre Thomas. I think they're going to go with Ivory more in this game, especially with Mark Ingram still out with that injury. So if you go pick up a running back this week, I did. I grabbed Chris Ivory, and I threw him right into my starting lineup. I was hurting a little bit, but it is a good matchup, and I like that as the sleeper of the week. And now it's time for the dud of the week. You know, the guy that's just not going to get it done in week number 10. This one pains me to say, but your dud of the week this week is my boy, Larry Fitzgerald of the Arizona Cardinals. Look, the Cardinals, great win against St. Louis. Fitzgerald got a touchdown late in that game, but he's just not putting up the huge fantasy numbers this year. And this week on the road against Philadelphia, I'm sorry, I just don't like the matchup. I don't think Fitz gets double digits. I don't like it. Larry Fitzgerald, unfortunately, is your dud of the week. That's it. That's how we do it. That's Ash's Fantasy Facts for week number 10. Another friendly reminder, game on Thursday night. Oakland at San Diego. So get your lineups in on Thursday. Make sure they're set and get ready. And let's go get a W in week number 10.